It's Sunday, February 11, 2024. Happy Super Bowl Sunday, and welcome to LCJ Live. We've got an interesting show today. We'll talk Super Bowl. We'll talk about some of the big movies opening for Valentine's Day, the two movies that could save theaters. Again, we thought about this with Argyle. Mean Girls did well. Beekeeper's done well. But we thought Argyle was going to be the movie, hey, it's going to keep theaters going until March. Maybe. Madam Web and Bob Marley, One Love, which opened Wednesday, will do that. And Ordinary Angels, which I have seen, comes out the following week. So we'll get into all that box office, Super Bowl, some big specials and movies that are debuting this Friday. As always, send in your questions and your comments live, YouTube Live. If you're watching the show today, thank you. Your number one movie is Argyle for a second week in a row with $6.5 million. It's up to 28.8. It's going to pass Night Swim in a couple days to be the biggest movie for Universal so far this year. But this is a bomb. It's a $200 million flop, without question, and a terrible film. And I am very surprised that Lisa Frankenstein did as poorly as it did. I saw the movie last Monday. It was the latest Regal Monday Mystery movie. Lisa Frankenstein only opened to $3.8 million. Wow, that's just a little bit above Diablo Cody and Focus Features' last collaboration, Tully, back in 2018. It opened to 3.2, 3.3, totaled 9.4. At this point, I don't know. Lisa Frankenstein could have a huge drop, but get a little bit of a boost on Valentine's Day Wednesday. It may not get to that 9.4, $10 million mark, so we will see. But wow, I think Focus is shocked. Universal and Focus have the top two movies, but I think they're very surprised that it did as poorly as it did. If it did 6.6 million, it would have won the weekend. Universal would have made it so that Focus had the win with Lisa Frankenstein. Boyo Surf says, I love you. Happy Valentine's Day. I love all my fans out there. I appreciate it. Thank you. And happy Super Bowl Day. Who you got winning the Super Bowl? My prediction is coming up. Next up, $3.5 million for The Beekeeper. Like I said, The Beekeeper's doing well. In fact, The Beekeeper's been doing better than Mean Girls recently. It's up to 54.7. Gotta be a Beekeeper too. Gotta be. So right now, Beekeeper is number 3. Now, here's the thing. Any of these movies, numbers 2 through 7, could all flip-flop, rearrange. Because you got Lisa Frankenstein at 3.8, Beekeeper at 3.5. All these other movies are 3.2, 3.1, 3, 2.7. So it's all a range, and it could all change tomorrow when the actual results are released. But for now, Beekeeper number 3. Number 4 goes to The Chosen. Season 4, I think. Part 1. And it added $3.2 million. It's at 12.6. The next episodes of The Chosen come to theaters in just a few days. And then 2 weeks after that, the remaining episodes of this season of The Chosen go to theaters. TV show episodes in theaters are doing well. Fathom Events has done it before. I know Friends episodes and other episodes have come to theaters. But this has been great in the past for The Chosen, for Fathom Events, and now it continues. Next up, Wonka, which added $3.1 million this weekend. It's at 205.3. Like I've said, 2065 was Charlie and the Chocolate Factory in 2005, and I think we're just a little bit away from that, and it will pass. Charlie and the Chocolate Factory, of course, not adjusted for inflation, and that was close to 19 years ago. But still, Warner Brothers, very impressive that Wonka, their big holiday movie, bigger than Aquaman by a ton, bigger than The Color Purple by a ton. And Warner Brothers also, by the way, this weekend had the re-release of the 2021 Dune, which made $1.5 million. Dune, when it came out in 2021, had a $40 million open, totaled about 108, was simultaneously released on HBO Max, and now here comes Dune Part 2 in just a few weeks. March 1, theaters are like, March 1 cannot get here sooner enough. And they're looking at 65. I think it can do more than that. For an opening weekend, 65 million. The anticipation is there. The movie is long, but theaters are going to put it on a ton of screens. And people are going to want to go see this in IMAX and the big premium formats. So I think Dune Part 2 will do very well. And then you got Kung Fu Panda 4 right after that. It's going to be a big 1-2 punch, or what I like to call Mega Movie March 2, the sequel. Because last year we had Creed 3, Scream 6, Shazam! Fury of the Gods, 65, John Wick Chapter 4, and Dungeons & Dragons Honor Among Thieves. Right after that, just a few days later, going into April, was the gigantic Super Mario Brothers weekend. So it was a mega movie March because all those March movies, except for 65, didn't do a lot, and Shazam disappointed. But Creed 3 did really well. Scream 6 did very well. John Wick Chapter 4 did a franchise high. And Dungeons & Dragons did $93 million. It did okay. So you had a mega movie March, and then a boom, April. And you're going to get a mega movie March once again. Dune Part 2, Kung Fu Panda 4, a couple movies on the 15th, including Arthur the King. I'll do a little bit. Then you got Ghostbusters, Frozen Empire, and Godzilla and Kong, New Empire. So huge movies for March. It's going to be a big March and into April. Next up after Wonka, Migration with another $3 million. It's at 110.1. Migration will probably do another 2.5 next weekend and maybe $2 million after that until we get to Kung Fu Panda 4. Now, Ordinary Angels with Hilary Swank is rated PG. I have seen it. I really cannot comment on Ordinary Angels until the 20th of February, a week from Tuesday. But I will say this. It's not PG in the sense of good for the whole family. Bring the kids. This is a serious film. If you've seen the trailers, you know that the story is serious. So, it's not like Kung Fu Panda 4. Yeah, the elementary school crowd is going. Don't bring the elementary school crowd to Ordinary Angels. That's what I'll say. Haven't given an opinion, but my thoughts on Ordinary Angels will come on February 20. So Migration will still do well. It's at 110. It'll make a run at 115 and maybe even try to push to 120. We will see. Anyone But You, right behind with $2.7 million. It hit $80 million this weekend for Sony, which is huge. I don't think it'll make another $13 million to pass Equalizer 3 to be the second biggest movie of the year for Columbia, but wow, for 2023, wow. $80 million for Anyone But You is huge, and this weekend it had the re-release with 4 minutes of extra footage. Interesting how the R-rated rom-com re-released for Valentine's Day did nearly as well as the PG-13 new rom-com in Lisa Frankenstein that came out for this weekend. If you hadn't seen Anyone But You or you wanted to go again, and you were over the age of 17, parental guidance, all that, you go see Anyone But You. And it made another 2.7. Mean Girls also did a little bit this weekend, 1.9 million. It's at 69.2. It'll hit 70 million for Paramount, and it's the biggest movie of the year so far. And here's the thing. This was going to be a Paramount Plus streaming release. Hey, Paramount's going to have the biggest movie of 2024 so far in a movie that was going to be a direct-to-streaming. So they'll take that as a win. Now, yes, could Madam Web and Bob Marley pass 70 million before Dune Part 2 opens? Maybe, but for the most part, Mean Girls will be the biggest movie of the year for 2 months. That says something. That's pretty good for a movie I really didn't care for. It's so not good compared to the original. The original is so funny. The timing of it, it's witty, it's clever, it's interesting. The performances, the humor. You don't get that out of this new version. I believe we talked about Dune, and then $1.3 million for American Fiction this weekend, your Best Picture Oscar nominee, nominated in several other categories as well. It's up to 17.4. It's now the 4th biggest movie of the year, 2023, for Amazon MGM, and now the 5th highest grossing movie in the Regal Monday Mystery Movie series. The Boys in the Boat, which added, I think, about 800,000 this weekend, is the highest grossing movie now ever for a Regal Monday Mystery Movie. And also on that top 10 of the last 6 years chart for Amazon MGM. We'll see if it passes the 52.5 of Air. I'm not sure it will. But The Beekeeper has passed the 52.5 million of Air. In fact, it also passed House of Gucci's total. And it'll probably pass The Addams Family too, to be, I think, 6th on that list of Amazon MGM releases of the last 6-7 years. Poor Things, also a Best Picture Oscar nominee, added about 1 million this weekend. It's at 30. I think it hit 30. The Favorite, 34.4. So Poor Things is going to come very close to what The Favorite did. And Aquaman added 1.1 million. It's at 122.3. I think I covered everything except for a couple of smaller movies. Out of Darkness, which opened with 1 million from Bleecker Street, and Perfect Days, which is nominated in the International Feature category in 5 theaters, had at least a $20,000 per screen average, if not more. Some people have it at higher than that. A good start for a good film. Then you've got Turning Red. Here's the thing about Turning Red. Okay, we had Soul, which did under 1 million in 2 weeks when it did its official theatrical run last month. Turning Red with an open of 535,000. It'll try to get to 1 million total. Look, again, it's just about the fact that Disney and Pixar decided to finally put these movies out in the theaters. Disney in particular making this decision. Let's finally have them in the theaters. Yes, they've been on Disney Plus for years. Turning Red, the most recent of the 3, Soul, Turning Red, and Luca, which opens March 22. Turning Red's been on Disney Plus for about 2 years. Soul for more than 3. Luca for close to 3. But it's still good that they did this. Yeah, you'll get to see the Inside Out 2 trailer in theaters, and you know, I think there's ticket deals. If you go to all 3, you get something off of going to Inside Out 2 in June. But it's good that these are finally in theaters nationwide. Turning Red should have been in theaters nationwide 2 years ago. It should not have been a direct-to-Disney Plus. I say the same thing about Luca. Again, the only movie was Soul. Soul, at that time, could not have been put out in theaters. It was Christmas 2020. Families were not going to theaters. Yes, some went to see Croods: A New Age, but Disney needed to cover their butts. So they could not put this movie out in theaters. Soul. All right. Super Bowl is tonight on CBS and Nickelodeon. That's why I got SpongeBob here, and for Valentine's Day, I'm going to be watching the Super Bowl on Nickelodeon because I am so curious as to what's going to happen with the voice actors from SpongeBob and everybody else involved. It's going to be a fun Super Bowl telecast. I hope it is. You know me, I love live TV. Anything can happen, and I hope that it's fun with the Nickelodeon gang calling this Super Bowl. My prediction, here's what I did. First of all, I said the 49ers are going to have one of Taylor Swift's lucky numbers, which is 13. What do I think the Chiefs' score is going to be? I took each digit from how much money Taylor Swift The Eras Tour made at the domestic box office, which was $180 million and change. I took each digit and I added up all the digits, and that equals 44. So that is my prediction for what the Chiefs' score will be tonight. 44 for the Chiefs, 13 for the 49ers. Good luck to Nate Burleson, who perfectly predicted the score last year. My Philadelphia Eagles lost, but he did a perfect score last year. Let's see if he can go 2 for 2 with the score this year. And maybe he'll go along with my 44-13. This Friday, there's a new Apple TV Plus special called Snoopy Presents Welcome Home Franklin. Tomorrow, new AnimationScoop.com Q&A and LCJ Q&A podcast episode with co-writer Rob Armstrong, who Franklin is named after. Executive producer Craig Schultz, director Raymond S. Percy. You get that at animationscoop.com and lcj.podbean.com. I'll also be posting a video clip of our conversation. Tuesday, if you're interested in going to the theaters for Galentine's Day, go see the new Gloria Gaynor documentary, I Will Survive. It's fantastic. It's thorough. It's interesting. It's about her making this album and the years that went into that. It also goes into her health struggles. It goes into her career. It's very interesting. A highlight movie of the year so far. Gloria Gaynor, I Will Survive, in theaters for one night only, this Tuesday night in theaters nationwide. Go see it. Opening Friday in theaters and on VOD is a movie called Bleeding Love with Ewan McGregor and his daughter Clara. I'll be able to share my thoughts on that later this week. Also, Land of Bad, a new action movie with Liam Hemsworth and Milo Ventimiglia and Russell Crowe, which I saw a few weeks ago. It was a Regal Monday Mystery movie. And on Wednesday, I'll be able to give you my thoughts on Land of Bad. And opening Wednesday, of course, Madam Web and Bob Marley, One Love, which I will be seeing this week. BoxOfficePro.com has predictions. Now, again, they open Wednesday, so of course the Friday through Sunday numbers are going to be lower. The 3-day open, they're looking for Bob Marley is 16 to 21, Madam Web 15 to 24. Those are the ranges. Hey, I'd love to see a battle. I'd love to see a battle for number one between these two. That would be fun. And for the 5-day, yeah, it'll probably do a little more than that. Remember, Valentine's Day is a decent day for movies. You know, a few $1 million for a couple choices in particular, and usually. And so we'll see how these do. They'll add probably $5-6 million to each of their totals. But if it's a good 3-day battle between the two of them, that would be nice. That would be very nice. Plus, you've got the new episodes of The Chosen. And then for the 23rd, you've got Demon Slayer, a new Demon Slayer anime film, Ordinary Angels, which I've seen, and Drive Away Dolls. Those are the big ones for the 23rd, along with the re-release of Tenet. That's right. So that'll be interesting. What's number one based on all of those. And then you get into Dune and the finale episodes of The Chosen. March 8, also, by the way, along with Kung Fu Panda 4, is Cabrini, which I have already seen, and it is good. A little slow early, but the performances are very good. Another very interesting film. You get the meaning behind it and the purpose of it and the impact of that as it goes along. So I do recommend you go see Cabrini when it opens March 8. Okay, yeah, that's it. I think that's all the topics for today's episode of LCJ Live. Have a good Super Bowl Sunday. Enjoy your Valentine's Day. For more, go to Twitter at LCJ Reviews, Instagram at LightsCamJackson, YouTube.com/LightsCameraJackson. Like and subscribe to this video, please. Website, lights-camera-jackson.com, lcj.podbean.com for the LCJ Q&A podcast episodes. We'll be doing more soon at toofast2films.com with me and Mike Sargent. And some more cool announcements are coming. I'm involved in some things that I can tell you about soon, and I am excited to share those and more. Coming at you soon. More Animation Scoop Q&As. I've seen, you know what else comes out the 23rd? Stop Motion, this horror movie with Robert Morgan. I'm going to be interviewing him soon for Animation Scoop in the LCJ Q&A podcast. Scott Stallion, before I go, do you still buy DVDs or just stream? That is a good question. Do I buy DVDs? I haven't bought a lot lately. Streaming, you know, I get many of the streaming services and screener links to all these, so a lot of it is streaming. Excited, says Scott Stallion, for more to come. Thank you, I appreciate that. But hey, support the physical media. Support the DVDs. If you're into buying something on DVD and keeping it, I still have a collection. I still watch many of the movies off of it. So support physical media, absolutely. All right, thank you. Thanks, everybody. Thanks for being here for LCJ Live. Have a good Super Bowl. Enjoy the big game. And stay safe, stay well, enjoy Valentine's Day, and we'll see what's number one. If I had to take a guess, I think Madam Web does a little more than Bob Marley, but I could see it going either way. We will absolutely have a new number one movie next weekend over Argyle. No question about that. Take care, everybody. Bye-bye.